A staggering majority of us, perhaps as many as 8 out of 10 individuals, will find ourselves locked in a struggle with the insidious whispers of negative thinking, undermining our confidence and coloring our perception of the world at some point in our lives. Now, that's a statistic significant enough to make us pause, to truly consider what's unfolding within the complex theater of our minds. Today, we're diving deep into a subject that is as profoundly challenging as it is ultimately transformative: killing your negative thinking, specifically through the timeless wisdom of Marcus Aurelius and Stoicism. This isn't merely about attempting to silence that persistent inner critic. It's about empowering ourselves to sculpt lives rich with meaning and fulfillment. In the world of Stoicism, we discover profound and empowering understanding. Our thoughts are not just fleeting, inconsequential whispers in the vast expanse of the mind. They are, in fact, the powerful, often loud voices that dictate our happiness, our tranquility, and our suffering. Stoic wisdom, particularly as illuminated by Marcus Aurelius, teaches us that, while the external world with its myriad events may not always bend to our will, our perception of it, our inner response, is entirely and unequivocally up to us. The Stoics, and Marcus Aurelius as a preeminent example, weren't just ancient philosophers lost in abstract contemplation. They were the ultimate mental warriors, relentlessly battling against the tyranny of uncontrolled thoughts and runaway emotions, armed with rationality, self-discipline, and an unshakable inner calm. Today, I'm here to guide you through understanding how these negative thoughts, these faulty judgments, impact us so deeply, and to explore practical, Stoic strategies inspired by Marcus Aurelius to combat them effectively. We'll learn how to harness the incredible, often untapped power of our minds to construct a life not bounded by the heavy chains of negativity and self-doubt, but propelled forward by the enduring virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, the pillars of Stoic living. If you're harboring any skepticism, I encourage you to stay with me on this journey. This exploration might indeed challenge some of your most deeply held beliefs, but it will also, I am confident, open the door to a new, expansive horizon of personal growth and mental freedom. Before we jump in, I invite you to share this exploration with others who are on their own journey of personal development, philosophical exploration, or who simply wish to cultivate a more resilient mindset. And if you appreciate the insights we're about to delve into here and want to support our collective journey into the profound depths of Stoicism, a simple, free favor I'll ask from you is to hit that subscribe button. Let's get started. Understanding the problem. The tyranny of misguided judgments. Negative thinking isn't just an occasional nuisance, a fleeting bad mood that passes like a cloud. It's a pervasive, insidious issue that can dramatically and often devastatingly impact every single facet of our lives, from the very way we feel when we greet the dawn each morning, to the critical choices we make concerning our health, our careers, our relationships, and our overall well-being. These thoughts, these internal narratives, can be profoundly debilitating. But what really is negative thinking, especially from a Stoic perspective? At its core, as Marcus Aurelius would attest, it's a pattern of misinterpreting events, of anticipating the worst, of undermining our own innate efforts, and often of incorrectly assuming we are less capable, less worthy, or less resilient than we truly are. It stems from faulty judgments. Now, why do we, as thinking beings, fall into this pervasive trap? The Stoic philosophers, with Marcus Aurelius providing copious personal reflections in his meditations, believed that it's not the external events themselves, the things that happen to us, that disturb our inner peace, but rather our interpretations, our judgments, and our views about these events. Epictetus, a Stoic sage whose teachings heavily influenced Marcus Aurelius, famously said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the view which they take of them." This powerful perspective is absolutely central to understanding our problem with negative thinking. It's not necessarily the unyielding reality of the world that constrains us or causes our distress. It's the often distorted lens through which we choose to view our world and our place within it. Carl Jung's extensive exploration of the human psyche provides further complementary insight into this internal dynamic. He recognized that much of our negative thinking, our skewed judgments, stems from the less conscious, often shadowed parts of our mind, the personal and the collective unconscious. Jung wisely wrote, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." By courageously bringing these unconscious beliefs, these ingrained biases, into the clear, illuminating light of conscious examination, as Marcus Aurelius did daily, we can begin to dismantle their insidious control over us. Consider for a moment the profound impact this has on our everyday life, our moment-to-moment experience. When faced with significant challenge or even a minor setback, negative thinking, rooted in these flawed judgments, can make us feel as though we've already lost a battle before we've even begun, effectively preventing us from taking the very actions, the courageous steps that could lead to success or resolution. It's like being in a sturdy boat and rowing with all your might, exerting tremendous effort, but not realizing you're still firmly anchored to the shore by your own limiting beliefs. No matter how hard you try, how furiously you paddle, you're not going anywhere meaningful. Stoicism, and particularly the practice Marcus Aurelius exemplified, teaches us to examine our thoughts, our impressions, critically, logically, and dispassionately, to relentlessly question the validity of these negative assumptions and judgments. Marcus Aurelius, in his invaluable meditations, consistently prompts us to reflect on our thoughts with intense scrutiny and to dismiss, to actively reject those that are irrational, unhelpful, or not aligned with virtue. This kind of rigorous introspection, this mental discipline, allows us to detach from harmful, habitual thinking patterns and thereby regain sovereign control of our mental landscape, our inner citadel. Let's not underestimate the pervasive influence of our societal and cultural backdrop in fostering these negative judgments. In a world often saturated with relentless messages of not being enough, whether it's not successful enough, not rich enough, not attractive enough, or not smart enough, it's remarkably easy to see why negative thoughts, these self-deprecating judgments, can creep in and take root. These external messages frequently find fertile ground in a mind not fortified by Stoic principles, sprouting insidious weeds of doubt, anxiety, and insecurity that can mercilessly choke our vast potential. But Stoicism, as championed by Marcus Aurelius, arms us with the essential tools to systematically clear out these weeds and to diligently cultivate a vibrant garden of more supportive, empowering, and virtuous thoughts. This issue of negative thinking, of flawed judgment, is precisely what we're tackling today, head on. It's not just about superficially dismissing or temporarily avoiding negative thoughts. It's about understanding them deeply, their origins, their mechanisms, questioning them thoroughly, relentlessly, and then consciously, deliberately replacing them with reasoned, constructive, and virtuous thinking. This Stoic approach, exemplified by Marcus Aurelius, isn't just about coping, it's about thriving. By mastering our thoughts, our judgments, we master our perceptions, and ultimately, we master our lives. So as we continue this exploration, let's keep firmly in mind that each thought we choose to entertain, to assent to, and each one we decide to challenge and reframe is a decisive step towards the kind of virtuous, resilient, and fulfilling life we truly want to live, a life of inner freedom. Origins of negative thinking, uncovering the roots of faulty judgments, understanding the origins of negative thinking, the genesis of our faulty judgments, is absolutely essential if we are to address it effectively and fundamentally. This isn't just about superficially identifying bad mental habits. It's about courageously uncovering the deep, often hidden, seated roots that shape our perceptions, our core beliefs, and profoundly influence our entire mental landscape. Negative thoughts, these detrimental judgments, often sprout from a wide variety of potent sources. Our upbringing and early childhood experiences, pervasive societal pressures, the sting of past failures and rejections, and sometimes even the seemingly inconsequential, casual comments from those around us. Each of these experiences, if not processed through a Stoic lens, can plant insidious seeds of doubt, fear, and self-imposed limitation, which, if left untended, can mature into a persistent, debilitating state of negativity. From a very young age, many of us are unfortunately introduced to environments that might not actively foster positive self-esteem or rational judgment. Consider a child who is repeatedly told, implicitly or explicitly, they are not smart enough, not good enough, or an educational system that sometimes seems to reward only flawless perfection, punishing every misstep. These formative experiences can significantly and negatively color our worldview, embedding judgments that are hard to dislodge. Aristotle, whose ethical framework shares common ground with Stoicism, once remarked that we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act but a habit. If we apply this profound thinking to the realm of the mind, we can clearly see that repeated negative thoughts, these habitual faulty judgments, can indeed become an ingrained habit of seeing ourselves, our capabilities, and our potential in a diminished, inaccurate light. Our own personal experiences of failure, disappointment, and rejection can serve to powerfully reinforce these negative internal scripts. Every time we face a significant setback or encounter harsh criticism, it can feel like an affirmation of a negative, internal dialogue that insidiously whispers, "I knew I couldn't do it," or "I'm just not cut out for this." This can tragically turn into a self-fulfilling prophecy, not because we intrinsically lack capability, but because we begin to act in ways that unconsciously align with our negative, limiting beliefs. Plato's profound idea that reality is created by the mind, we can change our reality by changing our mind, is profoundly relevant and empowering here. By diligently examining and courageously challenging our interpretations, our judgments of these past events, we can begin to systematically dismantle the very foundation upon which our negative thoughts are built. Fear, that primal emotion, also plays a critical and often oversized role in fostering negative thinking and distorted judgments. It's a natural, evolutionarily ingrained protective mechanism that, when unchecked by reason, often spirals into excessive worry, pervasive anxiety, or even paranoia, completely overshadowing our rational judgment. The fear of failure, the fear of the unknown, and the fear of rejection can all lead to what psychologists call catastrophic thinking, where the mind automatically and often irrationally jumps to the worst possible outcomes. Stoicism, as practiced by Marcus Aurelius, offers a powerful antidote against this. The premeditation of evils, premeditatio malorum, which involves visualizing potential worst-case scenarios in clear, rational detail, not to dwell on them, but to lessen their emotional impact and prepare our response if they should actually occur. It's about judging these potential outcomes correctly. Carl Jung astutely suggested that until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Many of our most persistent negative thoughts, our most deeply ingrained faulty judgments, are rooted in these unconscious beliefs, often formed in our impressionable early years, heavily influenced by our guardians, our teachers, the media we consume, and our broader cultural milieu. These unconscious beliefs frequently go unchallenged, precisely because they are not fully known or accessible to our conscious mind. Making these beliefs conscious, bringing them into the light of Stoic scrutiny, can systematically rob them of their hidden power and allow us to regain conscious, deliberate control of our thoughts and judgments. Moreover, the significant impact of societal and cultural pressures cannot and should not be overlooked. We often live in a society that relentlessly emphasizes scarcity, fears competition, and sets exceptionally, sometimes impossibly high standards that can seem utterly unattainable, leading to feelings of inadequacy. This pervasive environment can lead to constant, corrosive comparisons and persistent feelings of never being good enough, no matter our achievements. Stoicism, however, teaches us to resolutely redirect our focus From fickle external validation to enduring internal virtues, wisdom, justice, courage, temperance. It encourages us to measure our success and worth by our personal growth and character, our commitment to living virtuously rather than by superficial comparisons to others. This is where Marcus Aurelius found his strength. The roots of negative thinking, of faulty judgment, are indeed varied, complex, and deeply embedded, involving our personal history, our emotional experiences, our ingrained fears, and pervasive societal messages. However, by courageously leveraging the combined wisdom of both, Western philosophy, especially Stoicism as exemplified by Marcus Aurelius, and modern psychology, particularly the Stoic, unwavering focus on controlling our perceptions, our judgments, and our reactions, we can begin to truly understand and systematically unravel these negative thought patterns. This deep, honest understanding not only helps to mitigate their detrimental effects, but more importantly, empowers us to reconstruct our mental framework, our inner citadel, in a more positive, resilient, and authentically virtuous way, reclaiming our inner power. Thank you for joining us today on this profound and transformative journey through the depths of Stoic philosophy, guided by the enduring wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, as we've explored the critical art of killing your negative thinking. Remember, the true power, the absolute sovereignty, resides within your inner world. The judgments you choose, the responses you cultivate, and the virtuous actions you take forge the path to a life lived with resilience, purpose, and profound tranquility. As you continue to navigate the inevitable complexities and challenges of life, let the wisdom of Stoicism, as exemplified by Marcus Aurelius, be your constant guide, your unwavering compass, turning every perceived obstacle not into a source of distress, but into a precious opportunity for growth and character. The thoughts you entertain are the architects of your reality. By mastering them, you master your experience. If you found today's detailed discussion on harnessing your inner power and overcoming negative judgments enlightening, I encourage you to carry these principles forward, to make them a living part of your daily practice. The path of Stoic self-mastery is an ongoing journey, one of continual refinement and application. Continue to explore these timeless teachings, to reflect upon them, and to integrate them deeply into the fabric of your being. True freedom, the kind Marcus Aurelius wrote of, is found not in the absence of external difficulties, but in the strength and clarity of your inner citadel. Thank you for being a part of our Stoic exploration, for investing your time in understanding these life-altering principles. Together, as we delve into such profound wisdom, we're building not just individual knowledge or resilience, but a community dedicated to the pursuit of wisdom, virtue, and enduring strength. May your mind be a fortress of peace, and your actions a testament to your highest self. And so, as our time together on this particular exploration draws to a close, it's with a genuine warmth in my heart that I say farewell for now. To have shared these powerful, life-altering insights from Stoicism and the mind of Marcus Aurelius with you has been more than just an exchange of ideas. It's felt like a shared breath, a collective step towards greater understanding and inner peace. Carry the strength you recognize within you as a precious flame. May the echoes of this wisdom resonate deeply, guiding you, comforting you, and empowering you on your unique path. The journey to master one's inner world is perhaps the most sacred and personal quest we undertake, and I've walked a part of that path alongside you, even in this small way, has been privilege. Go well, truly, and know that the work you do on your inner world matters profoundly, not just for you, but for the light you can shine onto others. Until we meet again on these paths of wisdom, take the very best of care.